step, kick, or change, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
6, 2 step.
5, 6, 7, 8.
6 step.
5, 6, 7, 8.
6 step. 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
6 step.
5, 6, 7, 8.
6 step.
5, 6, 7, 8.
That's my nickname, and tonight I had an option for coming to one or another venue, and I remembered that Michael Turkowski and company was doing Motion Explosion at the Rent Party, and I was like, that's where I'm going. So I bipedaled my bicycle down here, got here on time, and it was 1 hour of just exquisite splendor. We learned a nice tight routine, and we perfected it enough to do it and lead it socially.
Alright, so we're going to explain the first section of the choreography, Charleston. It looks fairly simple, right? Everybody knows the Charleston, but we have some very interesting connection and movement points in it that we need to break down how to do it correctly. So the first thing we do different is going to be the rock step. Most time we do Charleston, we rock step, and then we kick. But what we're going to do, we're going to kick back instead of doing a rock step.
Kick, double, kick, double, kick.
It gives our Charleston a much more fluid and dynamic look. What's the difference between a rock step, kick, right? Rock step, kick. It's kind of chunky, but if we kick in the air, it's very fluid, very dynamic. That's one thing to watch. Second thing?
Okay, the second thing we're going to talk about is the connection. We have a connection back here along the back of the arm. So one thing, ladies, you can do is drop your arm down, bend your elbow. So we have a complete connection along here. And then as Michael moves his arm back and forward, it's the follower's responsibility to keep that connection to the back. So as he opens his arm, the back is going to stay connected here. This is what allows him to lead me. So you can practice this moving around in different directions and always keeping this connection on the back.
So the follower presses her back into my palm. If she doesn't press her back into my palm, this is what's going to happen.
He has no control over the follower anymore.
But if she does press it, she'll move with me. The third thing I want to watch for is the bouncing. When we do Charleston, we bounce on each and every beat of the song. So bounce, 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 bounce. It's always a bounce. So for every kick, there is 2 bounces, right? Bounce, 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 bounce. And the connection we talked about earlier, connection for the back, is what helps the follower to feel the leader's bounce.
Yep, so it's the follower's responsibility to match the leader's bounce. If Michael's bouncing all over the place, unfortunately we have to sort of like keep with that. So if we have a very small bounce, then we have to keep a very small bounce. So it's the follower's responsibility to match that. And the other thing is it's more like a bouncing down into the floor rather than up out of the floor, because then you lose your balance.
Right. And the fourth thing I want to talk about is the connection on the frames. The last variation on the Charleston is a little push that allows us to get into that. And we can only do that if we have frame in our arms and our chest.
So this uses all of the points we were just talking about. As Michael leads this down, I'm feeling the connection on my back, as well as this other connection that we didn't talk about, which is this connection here with your push-up muscles and engaging in the back muscles here as well. So if we lean in, then we're sort of pressing against each other, and as we lean out, we're sort of engaging the muscles. We're not fighting each other, but we're having some tension.
Yeah. So when I'm pushing away from her, when I'm pushing away from her, I'm thinking that I'm doing a push-up against her. So I'm not trying to push her away from me, I'm pushing myself away from her. Exactly like a push-up. my shoulder blade muscles. Just like in the gym, when you go to the gym and you do this kind of exercises, right? You're not using your hand to pull the weights. No, you're using your entire shoulder blades to pull the weights in the gym. So those are the muscles you want to use when you want to pull towards the floor. When you want to push away from her, use your chest muscles. So in the last
sorry, one last thing is that we want to keep this like a level line between our elbows. So we don't want to have a bridge up here. Otherwise, we can no longer have a proper connection. So make sure that this is nice and level.
Right. So in the last move, what we're doing, I'm using the back connection to bring her down, and then I'm pushing from her in order to turn her down. So the pushing action, I'm using my chest muscles to push. I'm not using my arms. It's always chest muscles